Squad is a team-based, military-themed first-person shooter with particular emphasis on realism, right down to your sight moving even when you strafe while crouched, to a blink and you'll miss it time to kill. We recently covered Hell Let Loose, which has an uncanny amount of similarities to our experience with Squad. You join servers of up to 100 players to capture territory and fend off enemy advancements to your territory, with a ticket system for a number of respawns available per team. There are options for a few different game modes that bend that same principle slightly, as you represent the likes of the US, Middle Eastern Alliance, British, Canadian armies and more. Weapons are locked to the wide selection of roles which give each player purpose in the game, to be utilised in different ways by the squad leaders, who are driven by the direction of the commander.
Enemy load your head, enemy load your head, fucking blasted, blast.
Voice comms, in our opinion, are essential to the quality of the experience, with tactical visualization between squads possible through the map's interface. If you enjoy this video, please feel free to like, comment, or even subscribe. Growing the channel will allow us to put more effort into videos, and we have plenty of ideas for you guys that we'd love to have the time to make.
While some people like the casual lobbies of Call of Duty and the BR-style gameplay of Apex Legends, Squad provides a completely different experience to those who are looking for the realistic, slow pace of milsim tactical shooters, where communication, teamwork and tactical skill are the differences between a good and bad team. If you've played Hell Let Loose before, you'll be familiar with the hierarchy of your team of 50, with players divided into squads and each squad lead communicating with the commander to relay instructions to the rest of the group. Done well, this can lead to a buttery smooth flow of push and pull style assault and defense, where your squads are working like a well-oiled machine. Done poorly and the battlefield becomes a bit of a jumbled mess. The maps themselves are massive, and they lend themselves to the feel of open warfare, and unless you like running for minutes on end, you really need to think carefully about where you spawn, or where vehicles can take you from A to B. Just be careful about volunteering to drive because it can get pretty wild, and be careful about getting into helicopters, because if the pilot's not skilled enough, there's a high chance that you're all gonna die. Graphically, it does look a little dated. There's no real way to sugarcoat how it looks. However, it is good enough not to take anything away from the immersion. We also found it tricky to identify friends from enemies, mainly because of how long the ally indicator takes to pop up, and it wasn't really clear to us the differences in the uniforms. However, I imagine this gets easier with experience. For me, this meant that I hesitated sometimes to take shots, and in many different cases this got me killed. The time to kill itself is pretty fast. You often don't have time to react to being shot at before you go down. This means that you really have to pay attention to cover, positioning, and the location of the enemy team. Not only that, but the gunplay has gone for a realistic feel, so there's a fair amount of skill required to reduce the margin of error when you do have those sporadic gunfights throughout the game. Overall, I'd say it's a really enjoyable squad-based realistic shooter. The map design is great, giving it a good variation and flow. The gunplay is great where the realism makes each kill feel rewarding, and the feeling of being a cog in a larger machine is fantastic, much like it is in Hell Let Loose. The only thing I would say is that you might need to go into a few different servers to give it a go, because the experience does fluctuate massively depending on the communication.
Squad really took us some time to get used to. Despite playing the seemingly similar Hell Let Loose, I didn't quite get a grasp of the game until we jumped into a really communicative lobby that were really happy to answer all my minor questions. Although the mechanics of the gameplay are relatively simple, there's a lot to do in this game in the form of team strategy and general awareness that can leave you a little lost. The game design seems balanced around making each role impactful. For example, the ticket system making respawns slowly chip at the health of the team. This makes it important to utilise the medic, who can pick people up on the field and save on tickets. As far as gun selection, the true hardcore nature of the game made me feel like I never quite had the right weapon for the job. With only a few weapon option presets per role, the quick changing landscape of the fight can have you between short and long range combat situations very quickly, making patience, something I don't particularly have, a key skill to being successful in Squad. Visibility is as difficult as I imagine it is in reality. Could be a get good scenario, but I struggle to spot enemies a lot of the time, often getting shot and killed from who knows where. On top of that, I really struggled with relying on the interface to identify if the approaching soldier was an enemy or an ally. There's often a name or icon above an ally's head, but at times it shows up really late. This for us led to not being able to flick shot in certain scenarios due to just not being sure if it would lead to getting flamed in chat for the team kill, which I guess would be a factor you'd need to consider in real warfare. We just found in some circumstances that it led to being shot by enemies as we waited for a second for the possibility of an ally icon to show. and therefore sometimes dying in a really unsatisfying way. These aspects highlight the importance of situational awareness across the whole experience. The more you know about the changing landscape of the battlefield, the more you can make those snap decisions on enemy or ally soldiers' locations, for example. For a similar title, take a look at our Hell Let Loose review. It might actually be useful for us to make a comparison video between the two down the line. Overall, it was a great experience, and we would recommend the game to anyone looking for that quality milsim, hardcore realism, large-scale warfare type of game. And there are actually not too many options for this type of gameplay. But for all the confusion that can occur when a team is communicating and coordinating effectively and running like clockwork, it feels great to be an effective cog on the wheel.
Is that my spot?
Some artillery.
That's your spot.
Go on, mate,
Thank
let
you
him have
guys.
it.
We don't need it.
Look, we have a lot of
show.
friendlies there.
Right in the middle of their communication, trying to figure out if they're right or wrong.
Where am I gonna go? Where am I gonna go?
Oh. I don't have a knife, I've just got a pistol. Oh no, there's my knife.
Oh, there you go. Dangerous, man, holding a knife and moving around like that.
It's not dangerous when you're as skilled as me.
Yeah, you look really skilled.
Mate, I got a knife kill in that other game.
True.
Nope.
Not filling
Oh,
me
this
with
guy doesn't
confidence
wanna
with
do
this movement, though.
Mate, this is how you move. Then they can't shoot you. You move so fast.
Okay.
It makes you more aerodynamic.
What do you do stamina from leaning? Yeah, you do.
Oh yeah.